I used two of the fish bowls from Dollar Tree, and I start by applying Mod Podge with a paintbrush that has thin, soft bristles. And I wanted to use this brush to help me get more of a smooth finish. And I also go back over the Mod Podge, brushing it, very lightly with the same amount of pressure all the way around. So when I apply my glitter, which is my next step, it looks even, and there's no blotchy places or, places that are caked up. So after you've gotten your glitter on both sides, you want to let them sit and dry for a few minutes. I think I left mine for about 30 minutes or 45 or so before I did the second layer. And the second layer is the same way with the Mod Podge. You want to spread it out even and, thin with the same amount of pressure all the way around. If your first layer, I'll let you know, if your first layer isn't completely dry, the glitter will go ahead and blotch and cake up in places when you start applying your Mod Podge. So even and dry is going to give you your best finished look. You can then seal it with another coat of Mod Podge or hairspray, whichever you prefer. I found this adorable little monkey in the toy section of Dollar Tree, and that's what I'm going to use for Mr. Grinch's hair. And I cut both arms and legs off my stuffed animal, and they're the same length. They're all the same length. So I only used two of the limbs. So if you plan on making more than one of these, you'll want to keep that in mind. So I went on ahead and cut the little yellow hands and feet um, off, and then I glued those together with hot glue. And then I glued that around the top of the smallest candle holder, in which I was really surprised how good of a fit or perfect fit the limbs were for the little hair. It was just really a good fit. It's a little bit too long, just a fuzz, but not enough that I needed to trim it or anything. I just left it as is. Next, I started working on his eyes, and I got these googly eyes from Dollar Tree. I bought these because I wanted to use the big ones that are in this pack. And at first, I was so upset because this is a brand new pack. Out of this brand new pack that's never been opened before, I did not have any matching eyes in the colors that I wanted to use. So I only had one green eye that's large. I only had one large yellow one and one large red one. So I had one. I would have used either of those. And the rest, all of the large ones were either pink or blue, except for those three. So what I came up with was cutting the blue or the pink one, and I would just slice it right at the top and let the colored disc fall out or pupil part, which I'm just going to refer to as the disc. And then I would just take the medium eye in the yellow and slice it, let the disc fall into the larger eye, which ended up looking so good. And I'm really, really happy with how this turned out because he looks more like Grinch. So, this was actually a great thing. I placed his pupils in the corners of his eyes. So, to keep the yellow disc from falling out, I grabbed the eye, but with my fingers, and you want to squeeze it just a little bit, and the eye will open up more. And then I took a toothpick, and with one side of the toothpick, I pushed the disc over to the clear side of the eye. And with the other end of your toothpick, you'll just simply transfer hot glue on the end of your toothpick. Or you'll just set the disc with the clean side of your toothpick, and that's it. Once my eyes were finished, I pushed them to the side and got ready to put my Mr. Grinch together. I placed the big fish bowl upside down and I glued the small fish bowl on the top. So these are glued bottom to bottom. And then I added some bling wrap where they meet in the middle. So later I wish I had have used gold bling wrap instead of silver, and you'll see why here in a minute. So now that he's together, I go ahead and I glue his eyes on. You want to figure out where you want your eyes to be, and once you figure out where you're going to place them, I know it's hard to see this, but you could grab the eye where the slit is, where the opening is, so you do not have to touch the back of the eye and risk getting burnt with hot glue. So you'll just add a little small dab of hot glue on the back of his eye and place those exactly where you want them. And for his mouth, I just used a thin bristled paintbrush, real thin, and some black paint, just acrylic paint. And I just freehanded his smile. Thought about, like using something to lay up against it and kind of tracing out and going along like his smile with something, but his smile is more oval. I didn't get it perfect, but I did go over it very lightly for, a few minutes, just filling it out till I was happy with how it looked. Oh, and also all the pictures that I pulled up, he had a little bitty tiny nose. So for his nose, I simply glued on a standard gem, and that's all for his face. And Dollar Tree has jot gems. They have them in different colors too. I wanted to give my Mr. Grinch a Santa hat. So I used a Santa hat from Dollar Tree and I just made a single cut where I thought it would be a good fit for this size. And I glued this seam together with hot glue. And I also cut the ball off of the end of the hat and glued it on the hat I plan on using. And you can work with this, of course. But so if you make the hat without the ball, the hat will stay on. You will not have to glue the hat into place. But if you are like me and you want to use the little ball on the end, you're going to have to add some glue just to make sure it stays into place and to secure it. And you'll still be able to access the inside of the top fish bowl if you want to put like a tea light candle or something like that in there. So now for the final touches, I used this small wreath ornament from Dollar Tree and I just ripped the bow off. And the bow looked like it needed a little bit of help. So I trimmed the ends of the corners of the bow with some scissors and I tried to soften it a little bit by, going against the ribbon with my scissors, just trying to soften that bend up. Then I just placed the bow in the center right under the diamond wrap. Next, I made 3 buttons with some gold diamond wrap, and I went with gold because I just glued the bow on there and it's green and gold. So, I mean, I know he's clashing with his silver choker or whatever on there, but silver and gold, it's Christmas. So, and I really thought I was finished at this point, but he was missing something, and that's his eyebrow. So I went back to my black paint and I freehanded his eyebrows and I got the first one on, and boom, my camera stops and says, please delete your files. Your storage is too full. But thankfully, I did get the first one on, and this was right when I was finished. So you can kind of get how I, drew the second eyebrow. I can't say enough how much I love him. I love, love, love this and how he turned out. And I think it's just the cutest thing ever. And I so enjoyed this project. I'll be making several of these. I hope some of you decide to make these for gifts. And I want to give a shout out. I was inspired by some pictures I found on Facebook. And I just fell in love with it. And this will also give you some ideas on other ways you can make your Mr. Grinch. So I love you guys so much, and I'll be bringing you so many more Christmas DIYs here in a few days. I already have another one made. I just need to edit the video. These are my favorite things to make. This is my jam. I love making Christmas stuff. So I'm going to be on top of that. I've got so many ideas. I don't even know if I can get them all out, but I'm certainly going to try it. I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again very soon.